the Ukraine war has been scripted? Do you want to know how I know that Ukraine was a money laundering operation? Do you want to know how I feel, in my view, that Ukraine is one of the most corrupt countries on planet Earth? We've already got people coming out saying, the Biden family took some money, took 90 million. And other politicians in America also took tens of millions. But how would that prove to you that the Ukraine war was scripted? How can I prove to you that the Ukraine war was about money laundering? How can I prove to you that the Ukraine war was all about the politicians getting rich? I'll tell you. Are you aware that the people that came across to this country when the war, loosest of possible terms, of course, when the theatre started between Russia and Ukraine, if it ever did? Because the people that were brought over to this country, women, possibly children, they were given visas. They were given homes to live with. They were given money and backing and safety in this country because the government says this is what we will do. So you know the Donald is going to be inaugurated on January 20th and has said that he will stop the Ukraine war on day one. Are you aware that the visas for anyone that came from Ukraine to safety in this country runs out in April 2025? And then if they are to stay here, they have to apply for a new visa. But if the war is over from January 20th, there would be no need for them to apply for a visa. They could go back to their home country. Do you not think that that is a little convenient? That Donald stops the theatre in Ukraine and Russia January 20th, and then all the visas of the Ukrainians that came to this country for safety runs out 8 to 12 weeks later? You couldn't make that up. Little convenient, don't you think? So please, if you don't hear from me again, understand that I've hit the nail on the head. Billions, billions, billions have gone through Ukraine. Look at two-tier. He will give Ukraine £3 billion in support for Ukraine for every year that he's in power, or the Labour Party are in power. So that could be up to 15 billion, which would pay for winter fuel allowance many times over for the pensioners. And yet, in a few weeks, in a month's time, while he's out in Davos, because the Donald's not going to Davos, he's not going to the World Economic Forum. He has been there before, as has his daughter. It's one big club, and you're not in it. But some of us are awake enough to see what's going on. So wait till it starts coming out in the newspapers in about a month or two's time that they might not be renewing some of the visas because the war in Ukraine, the rebuilding of Ukraine and part of Russia has started, and the contracts are going to BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. Because you make more money rebuilding a country than you do bombing the shit out of it. Don't you understand now? It's all scripted. Only the people in the club know what the script is. It's all about the money laundering. It's all about getting the taxes from the taxpayers into the government giving it to another country as aid and support, and then that country buying stuff from preferred suppliers whom the politicians are in the pocket of. If you look at Princess Diana, she knew what she was doing, clearing landmines And then a few months later, after being pictured on the front page of all the newspapers and being out into landmine land and saying we can clear the landmines, she was dead. The landmine companies, the arms and armament companies, the military industrial complex are the people that make the big money. I'm not talking about 1 million or 2 million or 3 million. I'm talking about billions in profit. Billions. It makes the bankers green with envy. So now you know. Tell me when I'm wrong, because I love you to do that. But also tell me when I'm right. It's coming. All the visas can be reneged come April 2025. How can they get the timing of that so spot on? The war finishes end of January, the rebuilding starts in February, and come 6 weeks later, they start saying, no, everything's fine in Ukraine, we're giving more money to Ukraine. Not Zelensky, obviously, they've got too many Bugattis and nice handbags and Louboutins from Paris. All these other YouTubers are talking shite, and they're not actually getting the real game. I can only give you detail and truth. Theatre of the mind? We're more than just the headlines. We'll wait while everybody else catches up.